On this episode of Vandre's Garage, we have a very special all-electric, brand new Jeep concept.
That's right. They didn't officially name it, nor do they officially say that this is actually the vehicle, but most likely this is going to be your first battery electric powered Jeep.
Yeah, so it has new styling. It has an E. At first, when I saw it, I thought it was 4xe, right? Because it's the same font, but it's not. So in this video, how about we show everything we have, which is not a ton, but still this is very exciting.
We only have a couple images of this Jeep, and I wanted to point out a few things. I've been studying this image, and first of all, there's a couple things. I looked at both sides of the vehicle, and there's no port for plug-in. So I believe that this E actually pops open because this whole thing is a plastic grill. It's not an actual grill that air comes through. That is where you plug in. That's my guess, and I think I might be right on that. Another thing is that the overall styling, it looks a lot like a cross between the Compass and the Renegade. So I'm going to call it the Rumpus. Jeep Rumpus.
Or the... Okay.
Rumpus is good.
Yeah, okay. Let's do the Rumpus. But here's what caught my eye immediately. First of all, two-tone, which is really trendy these days, right? But also, there's no door handle on the rear door.
It's up there.
It's hidden inside the kind of the wheel greenhouse here.
Yeah, the final pillar.
And I think it's kind of cool.
It's cool because it makes it look like a two-door, and this is something like the Toyota CHR does that, and some other vehicles do it, and it's give or take. By the way, we have an article on this, which is on TFLcar.com that Zach wrote up. Now let's look at the other image of it.
Yeah, and this is part of their latest kind of event that they had. They called it Dare Forward 2030.
Right. So kind of an unusual name, but the point is that they're going to go electric by then. Now, there's a couple other things. First of all, we're pretty sure that this is built on the Stellantis small platform. They have 3 platforms that they're going to do electric vehicles on. There's a small, medium, and large platform. It makes sense that this will be on the small platform. We don't think it's very big.
Yeah, and the only other specification before we dig into the image is basically what kind of battery this platform can accept. They're calling it
SLTA small, which is Stellantis small. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, 37 to 82 kilowatt hours is kind of the sizing. So 37 kilowatt hours. For example, the 2014 BMW i3 that we used to have and now I own, my wife and I currently drive, that has about 18 to 19 kilowatt hours.
Right. Well, my daughter's Nissan Leaf, 30 kilowatt hours, which means, with a good battery, about 100 miles in her car. I suspect that this will probably be a little bit more than that, especially if it's all-wheel drive. And rumor has it, this is just a distant rumor, that all of their vehicles will have a minimum of 300 miles range and up. That's a rumor.
And I think the 82 kilowatt hour, the upper end of this battery sizing that they have for this platform, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and Stellantis, here it goes, claims up to 310 miles on even the small platform.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, and I think most people would be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not talking about infrastructure. That's for another topic, right?
Right.
Charging and all the rest.
So let's quickly talk about the off-road capability of this vehicle. Go back to the first picture if you could, because I wanted to show something that I noticed. And I know we harp on this, but it's really something that you do need when you go off-road. There are no visible tow hooks up front.
What?
Yeah,
it's
sorry.
a Jeep.
I know. But a couple things. This is a mock-up. This isn't necessarily the production version, and there's no trail-ready package sign.
Trail rated.
Yeah, trail rated sign on this. So it's possible that this is a city version of it, and maybe there'll be an off-road version. Also, the approach angle is going to be pretty shallow, judging by the front end of this design. However, if you look here, you can see that it actually has decent ground clearance for a small commuter. So maybe it'll have all-wheel drive. Maybe it can do light off-roading, which, by the way, other Jeep products in the past have been built that way as well. You can go back to the Compass and the Patriot. They had like the non-off-road versions, and then they had off-road versions.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Right. So that's
even
possible.
for a Jeep brand, and of course they maintain their kind of 7-slotted grill,
Which is not a grill.
Which is not a grill, but looks like a grill.
Right.
Also, let us know what you think in the comments below. I really like this new headlight orientation. I think it's really sharp.
Oh, I think the design altogether is fantastic. It looks great, and these wheels, I'm pretty sure, guys, that these are just mock-up wheels. I don't think you're going to see a production version with this. Not to mention how wide they are. You need narrow wheels, low rolling resistance in order to make it more efficient.
This is a show vehicle.
That's exactly my point.
But it's not far-fetched.
No, I'm just saying that the wheel tire and wheel package looks like it's a little far-fetched. But other than that, this thing looks almost production ready. There are little clues here and there to see that these guys have really been working on it. There's a little Jeep thing right here. Can you see that?
Yeah, a little Jeep logo in the grill.
Yeah.
What if you can like screw in a tow hook in there?
I'm willing to bet that that's something that they have up there, and it would be smart that all vehicles have that, but I'm not going to go into big detail. Now, there is something else that you should know. Yes, that's going to be their first production electric vehicle. However, in the past, they did have an electric Jeep Wrangler called the Magneto that we drove last year at Easter Jeep Safari.
Yeah, you're talking about this thing.
That's correct.
Yes, I'm so jealous I didn't get to drive
Sorry,
it.
man. And it had a manual transmission, by the way, which was unusual. And that was kind of a proof that it can be done. So in the future, we are expecting to see something kind of sort of like this, but it's not happening right now.
So by 2030, this event, once again, that Stellantis in general has had, they're kind of taking a long view like many other companies, right? And of course, they're starting small. I think that makes sense.
It does.
But like you said, this is possible, Magneto is possible, and the whole concept behind this thing is that it still had solid axles, right?
And it had solid axles, it had a transfer case.
Yeah, and so it still had those off-road kind of basics, and the platform just was powered by electricity.
Right, and it was a very interesting ride. Now, we did do a light off-roading with it, but that thing had enough torque and grip to go up the side of a mountain. It was crazy. There are a lot of trade-offs, obviously. The biggest issue is that when you have an EV vehicle, you are going to have range, and if you're going off-road, major range anxiety. That's the truth.
Yeah, because you're using a lot of electricity to crawl over obstacles.
Precisely.
So, they need to put more charging stations out of the way.
Yes.
On the trails.
But that's the one thing Jeep is doing. They do have these chargers that are sitting on the sides of trails. They're basically level 2 chargers at best, and they have a solar panel on the roof. I don't know how efficient they truly are, but they'll be able to power just about everything. Here we go.
So they also showed this, which I'm of course excited about because it's another rendering. This is not, I wish they would have shown something more, but this is the Ram Revolution electric pickup.
Now, there's something very interesting about the bed. Look at that design slash they have right there. Does that look like...
Zoom.
Yeah, that looks like it's a very different type of bed than the regular Ram.
And also there's a rake to the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a rendering after all. I tried to play with this image. I tried to light it up and...
They knew you were going to do that.
And it's not showing anything else.
Yeah, look at that, how bulgy the hood is.
Yeah, that's mean looking.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and yet another kind of LED signature up front. So they're showing us many different signatures, and here's what they showed for the rear of this truck.
That is interesting. That tailgate looks unusual too, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they kind of put, this LED signature all the way across.
Right.
And looks like the Ram might be lit up as well. This is still early. Ram did say that by the end of this year, calendar year, we'll be able to see some sort of a concept vehicle. And for 2024, production versions of this.
All right, so, they are well behind Ford and Chevrolet when it comes to this, so hopefully they'll catch up.
Well, Chevrolet is also kind of in that time frame, right?
Yeah, but they've shown you a full...
we're already seeing their prototype. So we know this is here. We know the electric Jeep is probably coming very soon. They said possibly 2023, right?
Right. In fact, once again, this might be at the Easter Jeep Safari. Definitely stay tuned for that because that's coming up right around the corner. And I think it's Roman, Tommy, and I are going there, and you're going to the New York Auto Show at the same time.
Yeah, and this is basically like the second week of April. So,
that's correct.
Stay tuned for this. We'll bring you a lot of this news, and probably in person if we see it.
Yeah, that's
if we see it there. So, as always, thank you for joining us. TFL-studios.com is where you'll find all the automotive news, and also TFL Car, TFLOffroad.com, TFLTruck.com.
That's right, guys. We'll see you next time.